The king, do not be afraid to soil the floor with thy forehead. I will graciously forgive thee for that. The beggar stands motionless. The servant, I said. It is not wise to keep the king waiting. O great and illustrious king, thou wilt surely not. The beggar does not move. The king. Well, a pause. Well. In a rage, well, the beggar, O king, thou hast commanded me not to beg in the streets for bread, for the noise of my voice offends thee. Now therefore do I likewise command thee, to remove thy crown from thy forehead and throw it from yonder window into the street. For when thou hast thrown thy crown into the street, then will I no longer be obliged to beg. The king, FFT, thou commandest me, thou, a beggar from the streets, commandest me, a king, to remove my crown from my forehead and throw it from yonder window into the street, the beggar. That is what I said. The king, why? Dost thou not know I can have thee slain for such words? The beggar, no, thou canst not have me slain. The spears of thy soldiers are as straws against my body. The king, ha, we shall see if they are. We shall see. The servant, O king, it is indeed true. It is even as he has told thee. The beggar, I have required thee to remove thy crown from thy forehead. If so be thou wilt throw it from yonder window into the street, my voice will cease to annoy thee any more. But if thou refuse, then thou wilt wish thou hadst never had any crown at all. For thy days will be filled with a terrible boding, and thy nights will be full of horrors, even as a ship is full of rats. Stop the king. Why? This is insolence. This is treason. The beggar, wilt thou throw thy crown from yonder window? The king, why, this is high treason. The beggar, I ask thee, wilt thou throw thy crown from yonder window? The servant, aside to the king, perhaps it were wise to humor him, O king. After thou hast thrown thy crown away, I can go outside and bring it to thee again. The beggar, well, well, he points to the window. Well, the king, no, I will not throw my crown from that window, no, nor from any other window. What? Shall I obey the orders of a beggar? Never. The beggar, preparing to leave, truly, that is spoken like a king. Thou art a king. So thou wouldest prefer to lose thy head than that silly circle of gold that so foolishly sits upon it. But it is well, thou art a king. Thou couldst not prefer otherwise. He walks calmly toward the door. The king, to the servant, stop him, seize him. Does he think to get off so easily with his impudence? The beggar, coolly, one of thy servants cannot stop me. Either can 10,000 of them do me any harm. I am stronger than a mountain. I am stronger than the sea. The king, ha, we will see about that. We will see about that. To the servant, hold him, I say. Call the guards, he shall be put in chains. The beggar, my strength is greater than a mountain, and my words are more fearful than a hurricane. This servant of thine cannot even touch me. With one breath of my mouth I can blow over this whole palace. The king, dost thou hear the impudence he is offering me? Why dost thou not seize him? What is the matter with thee? Why dost thou not call the guards? The beggar, I will not harm thee now. I will only cry aloud in the streets for bread wherewith to fill my belly. But one day I will not be so kind to thee. On that day my mouth will be filled with a rushing wind, and my arms will become as strong as steel rods, and I will blow over this palace. And all the bones in thy foolish body I will snap between my fingers. I will beat upon a large drum, and thy head will be my drumstick. I will not do these things now, but one day I will do them. Therefore, when my voice sounds again in thine ears, begging for bread, remember what I have told thee. Remember, O king, and be afraid. He walks out. The servant, struck dumb, stares after him. The king sits in his chair, dazed. The king, suddenly collecting his wits, after him, after him. He must not be allowed to escape after him. The servant, faltering, O king, I cannot seem to move. The king, quick, then, call the guards. He must be caught and put in chains. Quick, I say. Call the guards. The servant, O king, I cannot seem to call them. The king, how? Art thou dumb? The beggar's voice is heard outside. The beggar, bread, bread. Give me some bread. The king, he turns toward the window, half frightened. And then, almost instinctively, raises his hands toward his crown. And seems on the point of tossing it out the window. But with an oath he replaces it and presses it firmly on his head. How? Am I afraid of a beggar? The beggar, continuing outside. Bread, bread. Give me some bread. The king, with terrible anger, closed that window. The servant stands stupid, and the voice of the beggar grows louder as the curtain falls.